When Trent Boult announced that he was not going to renew his New Zealand Central contract, it opened up a Pandora's box. The decision by Trent Boult, later to be followed by James Neesham and Colin de Grandhomme, exposed a very worrying trend that is putting international cricket in danger. It is putting ODIs also in danger because the irrelevancy factor seems to be increasing. Now, a latest study conducted by the World Players Body, or FICA, has exposed that what is the existential threat to the game of cricket. There is a very worrying trend in cricket at this point in time. According to many of the players that FICA surveyed in its study and report, 49% of the players are ready to reject a central contract. Because now the trend is slowly moving from bilaterals to T20 league system. And 2023 is a game-changing year because every T20 franchisee league has got a own window. Be it the ILT20, be it the SA20, IPL, Big Bash League, PSL, CPL, every T20 league has got its own window. ODIs are losing relevance every year, or if you have to look at every 4 years the study is done, the percentage of players taking the ODI World Cup seriously is dipping. The study was done by FICA, as I had mentioned. FICA is the World Players Association body and it works for the players. They are the representatives of the players in a way, like how it is in Australia, like how it is in New Zealand. But there is a major loophole in this FICA study. Why is that? You guessed it. India, who play the most number of cricket across all formats, they are not part of the FICA survey. None of the Indian players participated in the FICA survey. Why? Because they are not part of it. India is not part of FICA. And FICA is the World Players Body excluding India. So whatever if the Indian players were to be asked, their answers would never be recorded because they are not part of it. India is the only country that is trying to keep cricket relevant by playing more because they are the financial powerhouses. But even the BCCI and all the stakeholders cannot ignore certain crucial numbers when it comes to the decline of cricket. 54% consider the ODI World Cup as the pinnacle. It's good news, right? More than half. But the worrying thing is when the study was done in 2018-19, 86% of the players had considered the ODI World Cup as the pinnacle. That has now drastically reduced by 32 basis points. How then will you ensure that ODIs are relevant? How will you ensure that the World Cup is relevant? Because Kane Williamson and Joss Butler both said the need to add context to bilateral ODI series. Two instances. The India versus New Zealand ODI series in October. On top of that, England versus Australia, the ODI series played in Melbourne and in other cities. What was the attendance? 10,000. In a stadium of 90,000, just 10,000 is a disaster. Where is the relevance? Where is the backdrop? That is a major issue that has been unearthed in this survey. Now there is one more major issue. We often look at the ICC rankings, right, for the best players, batters, bowlers, all-rounders. But even if you look at it from 1 to 10, forget 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 82% of the players who are in the top 100 T20I rankings, they all want to be free agents. Essentially, T20 guns for hire. They will play very limited for the country like what Trent Boult is doing. Forgo a central contract and make himself available only when he wants to. And if it is very, very important, like a major tournament, like the World Cup. 40% of the players in the top 100, if you have to look at it in the rankings, they do not have a central contract. India is the exception to the norm because they have a system in place. When it comes to IPL, because of the exclusivity factor, when you look at which country plays the most. But 82% of the players, 82 out of the 100 players, they all want to be T20 guns for hire. And that is where international cricket is heading. It is also reflected in the gap. Remember, the rich and poor gap, haves and haves not gap. We have often discussed about this in school, right? 522 matches were played in 2019. Consider this. Now it has reduced. 485. Yes, because of COVID, only 200 plus games were played in 2020 because of the COVID restrictions. But if you look at it, 22 plus 15, 37 games have reduced in this 1 year period. And look at the top 9 sides, the creamy layer. Within that, there is a creamy layer as well. India, Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, West Indies. Those 9 teams played on an average of 81.5 days. That means every 5 days in a year, one of the top 9 teams would be visible on your TV screen playing. But the bottom teams, consider yourself Namibia, UAE, Netherlands, then you look at Zimbabwe to a certain extent, you look at Kenya to a certain extent, Czech Republic, all those small teams, how many do they play? Just 21.5 days in the year, average. That is why you see that cricket may be on paper a global sport. 104 nations play T20Is, but how many get to play the major World Cup? Just 16. And that too 16 cut off from 4, you get 12. Just 12 teams in a nation, in a globe that consists of close to 200 nations. This is the start of the systemic rot that is engulfing cricket, international cricket in particular, because every T20 league has a window, and this is how the future seems to be. Your IPL will dominate for 4 to 5 months of the year. Half yearly it will be an IPL, and the rest of the times bilateral series will slowly be pushed into the backdrop and it will be deemed irrelevant. No solution, right? To add context to the bilateral series, simple solution, kill it off. That is the way how cricket is going, and these are very, very worrying times indeed. This step by Trent Bolt and James Neesham, along with Colin de Grandhomme, Martin Guptill, let me add that name also to the list. This is going to be a continuation of the new normal that will be in cricket. Remember, the coronavirus situation, this term new normal came into being. With T20 leagues flourishing, especially UAE, South Africa, and because IPL teams have invested in it, the new normal will be a league-based system in cricket. Just T20 league-based system. Bilaterals and major international matches will be there only for World Cups. 2023 onwards till 2031. The way how we view cricket for the last 20-30 years, all that could change. Thank you so much, folks, for listening to this special video. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.